What do you say, guys? Welcome to the Elephant in the Room podcast. He's Jake Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie. Great to have you guys disrupt the media. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe to Roll Tide Pods. That's where we hang out, and we try to get together twice a week to talk about Alabama and anything else going on in the world of athletics, and sometimes not even in the world of athletics, but a lot going on in the world of Alabama always, right? And Jake, we'll start with the Crimson Tide. DaShawn Jones is the latest guy in the portal to come to Alabama, a cornerback. So I felt like Alabama really needed some help in that cornerback spot. We talked about it. They only had two guys with real experience, right? So now you get Jones from Wake Forest. I don't always know a lot about some of these guys coming in. It's not like I watch every single college football game, but he was highly sought after. There was a lot of other teams that were interested in him, and so Alabama gets him, and it gives them some depth.
Yeah, got an ACC. First time we had a 7-on-7, and I may have told this story on this podcast already, but
Reshare it.
I may have with Ryan when Ryan was sitting in here. So first 7-on-7 of the year, we had a play called Panther, and it was double slant. So I threw a slant to Chris Black, and Dylan Lee stepped in front of it, slaps it down, hits the ground, looks at me, waves his finger, and goes, "Hey, this ain't the ACC, motherfucker."
Welcome to Bama.
Yeah. So, we got a lot of ground to make up, and I hope he's our boy now, and I hope he's a great player. I hadn't watched a whole lot of Wake Forest over the last few years.
They've been pretty good. I mean, 2 years ago they were really good.
Yeah, no, that's right. And Wake Forest has come a long way over the last few years.
Yeah.
They were decent. They beat us when I was a redshirt freshman at
Florida State. Yeah,
we did not expect that at all. But they had some good players, and Wake Forest is known to. I kind of feel bad for Wake Forest because they're one of those teams that's going to produce pretty good players here and there, but in this day and age, they're probably going to be poached.
Yeah, well, they lost their quarterback to Notre Dame. 2 years ago.
Yeah, right? And so. Look, man, they got some good players. I hope he's one of them, and I hope he shows out at Alabama. But again, kind of like that story, it's a little different. You gotta learn and prepare yourself for a different level of competition.
You got to step up. I mean, you're going to step up at Alabama.
Yeah, I used to have this conversation with guys. Coach Keesaw, he was part of the offensive staff at Alabama when I was there, and I remember him and I used to have conversations all the time about the difference between SEC ball and he was actually at Auburn with Brian Harsin, and we had conversations about how much different the SEC is than any other conference in the country. The talent is just on a completely different level,
right?
The Clemsons, the Florida States, Miami, those guys have talent. I mean, those are SEC schools. But what I would say the difference between those schools is that Alabama plays those type of schools every week. I don't care if you're playing Arkansas. I don't care if you're playing Tennessee when they used to be bad. South Carolina. Teams that are the lower level of SEC are still, they have a lot of talent,
right? And
they get recruits that nobody's heard of that are just very talented guys, and so you're playing just hard-nosed football players week in and week out, and so it's a different. In my opinion, it's a different culture because you're used to playing hard-nosed football every week, whether you're playing a top 10, top 25, or 55th ranked team in the SEC. It's just different.
Well, he's here now. I mean, it's a good get for us. I mean, we had Jahil Hurley, and then we had DaShawn Jackson. That was it, man. Like, as far as guys that had any experience at cornerback, because we lost so many of those guys. And maybe a big part of it was when Saban left. That was the position group that he worked with. Well, the secondary, you know.
Yeah.
And then you had, you know, Kool-Aid and Terrion Arnold drafted, and, you know, you lost a lot of guys. So, and then there's a lot of guys that are really good that are like recruits, right? 4 and 5 stars, like high recruits. And Bakwe being a guy that I can't wait to see out of Clay Chalkville. But it's hard to be a true freshman and step on that field and be ready to, you know, make a difference.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're talking about, look, it's like a rookie in the NFL. It's, you got guys that have been training for a couple more years than you, that are older than you, that are more mature. I mean, look, you got a few guys that can step in and play right off the bat that are physically more mature than most 19-year-olds,
right?
But that's very few and far between. I mean, when I was a freshman at Florida State, there was really 1 or 2 guys that I could think of that were that good mentally and physically to play as a freshman. You know, Rashad Green was one of them. Timmy Jernigan. I remember they had to make him stop benching so much weight because they cut him off at 500 pounds. They're
like that's enough.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was 300 pounds and his waist was smaller than mine. Kind of embarrassing for me, but you know, I mean, the guy was just a beast.
Yeah.
And
how was he on the football field?
Man, we ran. We had to, when we were freshmen, we had to run stadiums at Florida State, and so at Florida State, there's 82,000 people that can sit in those stands. The difference between Florida State and Alabama is it's one stairwell that carries you all the way to the top.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
and so you run all the way to the top, and you got to run all the way down over and over and over and over again. And you can't lean over and touch your knees. You know, you got to either have your hands by your side or hands on the head. You can't bend over. And man, I was throwing up over the side of the railing.
Really?
Oh my gosh. And Timmy Jernigan comes over there and he's cussing me out. I was thrown up from being exhausted at first. And then when he was cussing me out, I was thrown up because I was so afraid of getting my ass whipped. I was like, dude, I'm trying.
Yeah, right.
This is all I got.
Yeah, right. This isn't an effort issue right here. That's funny. I always hear those stories. You know, I remember there was like Alabama played Tennessee a couple years ago. You remember the Tennessee guy threw up and then went into the, you know, it was like an offensive line.
Oh yeah.
He's just for the next play.
Nodding his head.
Crazy.
Well,
look for Alabama to be in on the Michigan State transfer interior offensive lineman, Gino Vandermark. I think that they have a chance with him. There's a safety out of Penn State named King Mack, which I would love, man. That's a great name. Bring on King Mack.
King Mack.
That's a great name.
That's a top 10 name. I love there,
that, dude. I mean, he comes in and I'm right off the bat. I don't know what he's going to do, but I'm going to be a fan of him. That's a great name.
That guy's got to have some swagger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see about those 2 guys, and maybe there's someone else I don't know about, but I would say keep an eye on those 2 guys, and then, you know, in this, and get ready for. The next thing would be fall practice, right? I mean, you know, get ready for the games. But I thought that was I thought it was a good sign to get him.
Yeah. You know, also another good sign. I don't know if you saw the Regions golf tournament yesterday. I'm hoping the lack of a golf swing for Kalen DeBoer translates into his focus on football, because man, let me tell you what, that is one shitty golf swing.
Who did it remind you of?
Charles Barkley before he figured it out.
I thought you were going to say Dunaway. Worse than Dunaway.
Yeah, I'll take Coach DeBoer over Dunaway.
Oh, you will?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So he's not that bad.
Dunaway's that bad.
Yeah, Dunaway's worse. Those guys, I thought next round guys, they did an awesome job covering it, man. I mean, all the stuff I've seen, has been from the next round. Like, just them. They interviewed Saban. They interviewed DeBoer. Like they're out there. They got them. Dunaway was introducing the coaches. You see that?
If you want to shake one, Albie's right over here.
He did a good job of that.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Those are like nerve-wracking moments too. Like when you've got to introduce people. I mean, I've done it before. It's like, I don't want to.
I was at a Alabama A Club tournament in Greenville for Big C. I don't know if you've heard that name before, but he from Greenville. He has a tournament every year in Greenville at the Robert Trent Jones up there, and they had Eli Gold announcing every guy that walked up to the tee box and hit, and he narrate the hit or the slice right into the woods and all that. I mean, it was great. It was great, but everybody, everybody was getting nervous. Eli Gold's, introducing me to this tee box. It was awesome.
Dunaway did a great job. Hey guys, I want to remind you that we're brought to you by MyBookie. Whether you bet to earn or to make games more interesting, which is kind of what we do, MyBookie gives you the most for your money with their redesigned deposit bonus. Just use the promo code NEXTROUND, just like this hat right here, and you receive a cash bonus instantly to your MyBookie account. Using this bonus is simple. Bet your deposit amount just once, and you're ready to cash out. It's no strings attached with MyBookie. Bet on the NBA, MLB right now, or play a share of big cash prizes in the weekly online blackjack tournaments. With so many brands to choose from, you need a platform that makes it simple to bet and win like MyBookie. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. So we're at MyBookie. All right, let's talk about something else really important in the world of sports right now. The Tom Brady roast on Netflix.
That's one of the best things ever.
Dude, I start getting calls like Sunday night, and people are like, dude, are you seeing this? Because I guess they know me, And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, Tom Brady's getting roasted. And holy cow, man. Like,
they didn't hold back, did they?
No, man. That was some hard-hitting stuff. I
got to go watch the whole thing. I've seen a lot of the highlights, but the highlights,
oh man, so good. Nikki Glaser was just amazing.
She's always pretty.
She was the best. Like, she got a standing ovation. I thought, honestly, like, I haven't been a huge Kevin Hart guy, but I thought he did a fantastic job of, emceeing it, kind of throwing things out there.
Who one of the best is
Jeff Ross was great too.
Oh, Jeff Ross. Well, he's the king of the roast.
He comes in like OJ. Did you like that? OJ in hell. Come on, man. Poor Aaron Hernandez got hit a lot.
Oh man.
I just thought, like, first off, we were just talking about this and we didn't want to waste it with our conversation, but I'm a Ravens fan. We beat Tom Brady a few times. He beat us a lot. And I never was like a huge Tom Brady fan. I'm a Tom Brady fan. You go up there and wear that.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you're my kind of guy.
Well, the only thing that you kind of get upset about is the owner of the team. I mean, there's nothing that they said about you that you take offense to.
And he was probably just like the massage joke was pretty funny though.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
But those guys, man, everybody showed up, man. Bill Belichick came out. He did his thing.
Oh yeah. Have you seen Julian Edelman's podcast since then? He's no. Oh man, he said I saw Bill and I didn't know that Kraft was going to show up, and all of a sudden he walks in and he's like, Bill, and Bill doesn't see him. And he's like, all right, I'm out. He's like, the tension though in that room between those two was just, I mean, you cut glass with it.
Oh yeah.
He was like,
he fired him. Well, he retired or whatever it was.
Yeah. I mean,
Tom Brady hung in there. All those people showing up.
How
about Drew Bledsoe, man? Like, I thought he had a great sense of humor.
Yeah,
man.
He didn't pull any punches either. Did he?
I loved it, man. Randy Moss talking about rings. I wore mine just for Randy.
Why didn't we cheat?
Yeah. And people are like, what is he talking about? I'm like, oh, he's talking about he's talking about the filming thing. And then the Deflategate happened against my Ravens. So I'm very familiar with that, whatever. It was great. I mean, I think I could handle being roasted, and boy, I would love to roast somebody.
Oof.
I laugh at myself, I can deal with it.
I'm sure
it would suck, but I would love it, but being able to go up there and just like rip. There's a few people I would love to roast. Yeah. Like you're watching it and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I could do this. We do it anyway. We just not, on camera.
Yeah. I played golf with Jim Dunaway once, and man, he gave me a lot of material.
We won a Jim Dunaway. We were talking about that. Like that'd be a really good event.
Jim, if Jim listens to this, he's probably like, man, what have I done to these guys?
No, we like you, Jim. That's what we like you. We wouldn't be.
No, you're right. That's
how we are. Like if we're on you. But he's got a high enough profile where it will be funny.
Yeah.
You can't roast somebody with a low profile. We'll do that in Birmingham. Brought to you by the next round. Next up, Jake Coker.
A lot of material.
Oh man, that would be so good. I've never been to
do it to Florida.
Oh,
that's where we'll do it.
Can you imagine that?
Oh,
bushwhackers and roasting. Do it in that top room, like I think it's called the main bar, the top room,
the original.
Yeah, the original spot, on that little stage up there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, dude, that would be epic, man. That'd be epic. Can you imagine writing those jokes and thinking about what you're gonna say?
We'd have a writing session on the podcast.
Yeah.
Make sure Jim can't watch.
Yeah, right. There's get our comedian friends. I'm friends with Rocky Dale Davis, who's from Brookwood. He's a comedian. It'd be good to have like a little backup for him.
Yeah.
Who would be like our Alabama comedians that would be in there? It's just Funny Main.
Funny Main, yeah.
I mean, I know he's a comedian, but I mean, I wonder if he roasts people.
Well, I mean, shit,
him and Rocky.
He could watch one next round show and have plenty of jokes to make about Jim. He's clever enough. It doesn't take much.
He might watch the show. Maybe he watches it. That'd be good though. I would love that. I think we need more roasts in Alabama.
We have Roll Tide Willie up there.
Oh my God,
making jokes.
Yeah,
I mean, you talk about just Jim.
The rise to fame of Roll Tide Willie.
That's crazy.
I know. I do a podcast with Brett Elmore, and he's just like we call him Big Sexy Elmo. He just like he's like from Walker County. He's like, man, we got a whole county of Roll Tide Willies here. But he's not the original Roll Tide Willie. You just can't go and find another Roll Tide Willie. Do you have the Blitz Bama Blitz tee?
No,
but
if Roback made one,
you'd get it from Roback.
Yeah,
show's brought to you by Roback. That's a good transition. Look, you got your Roback gear on, and let me throw our promo code up there.
It's a great golf shirt. I hit a lot of long drives today.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
I gotta put the code up there because
let me tell you though, man, I can't swing like I used to. It's kind of depressing. My back hurts, my knees hurt.
No, don't tell me.
It's a little different,
You can't say that here. I mean, you got to act like you're just like made of iron. Yeah. Room 20 though is 20% off of.
I can still launch the shit out of a mullet.
Yeah, you can.
But my long drives just, it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, it sucks that you beat me in the mullet toss. I got close, but I saw that toss and
had I lost to you in the mullet toss, this show would be over.
I'd talk so much.
The show would be done.
I was thinking like anywhere if you were 120 or less, I was going to be like the guy from one of those wrestlers from Money in the Bank.
You had to know though.
I was going to cut right in front of Ryan.
When you saw the crow hop, you had to be like, "Oh shit!"
No, it was when I saw the fish leave your hand, and I was like, "Whoa, that is a bomb right there." I knew I could get close, but I knew it was going to be like my best throw.
When I grabbed it, I was like, "Okay, this thing's going a pretty good ways." People are going to think this is going a long way.
It looked like
because I got a good grip on this. I was just like, I got to throw it now.
I'm putting the totals up there again just because I love it. All right, there you are, 141.7. Yeah, but there I am at 126. So, you know, it wasn't like I went in there and shit the bed. I mean, you're like watching the, you know, the drone footage of your throw. I'm like, man, like you had the perfect form and everything.
Jalen though he's got to get his shit together.
Yeah, look at that throw.
I mean, when you got DBs beating you, we gotta work on that mullet toss. You need a little more. He needs me to tutor him a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
you think you could get him up to at least 120 next year?
I think if I need to get him a little bit more. He needs a little bit more redneck in him.
Yeah, yeah. So you probably would have been like, "Hey, man,
just like, hey,
put a little sand in those fingers,
fish and let me sling it."
Get a little more sand in there. Steve Powers was like, "Look, man, you're not supposed to put sand in your hand, but make sure if you do, you pick the fish up with your other hand." So I might not have done that, but I might have. I'm not going to say it. It's funny, like when you throw it and then you're like,
that's what I was, girl. When I walked up, I had sand in my right hand and I was like, oh, I'm left-handed. She goes, let me see the other hand. I was like, shh, and just put my, like the super bad when he's like,
yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, don't ruin this.
Shut your face.
Yeah. You see all these people here? They're judging me. Nobody's going to judge any of these.
Nobody's going to count this.
Yeah. That was great.
Freaking half-speed hero.
Yeah. The funny thing was after you threw it, like you got the, which is good. Like, and you're, I mean, now that you've done it one time too, I feel like next mullet toss
next year will be yeah.
What if we just like we should do like some videos like practicing for the mullet toss? You know, that'd be pretty funny.
We ought to just go to the Florida and just start slinging mullets.
Everybody's out there on the beach, like people are just like hanging out, and we're throwing fish by them.
just ear holing them.
Yeah. Look out! One of the great American events, right, is the mullet toss.
I mean, it really, after going there this year, that has to be there's God knows how many good American events. That's what we ought to do, is just do an American event tour, kind of not a small town, but kind of a small town, but regionally known event.
I love that idea.
Go to each one.
Take like one camera person.
Yeah.
And we just show up and, to
like
all
something every 200, something every 400 miles.
Well, whatever's out there.
Yeah.
Like what are they doing? And you guys in the comment section can tell us what else like the mullet toss.
What is similar to the mullet toss?
I feel like we need to go to Sturgis. I don't know.
There's got to be something with lobsters in the Northeast.
Yeah, right.
There has to. Texas.
Well, Shrimp Fest is down here, but you don't throw the shrimp or whatever. Yeah. There's got to be competitions for all that shit.
Yeah.
I'd love to do
We'll skip Louisiana. No telling what's going on in that backwards.
You don't like crawfish?
I love crawfish, but I don't know what they're doing with them down there.
Yeah.
What
kind of event? Yeah, that's a show though, in itself. That'd be like a, did you ever watch David Tell when he used to do that insomnia show? He used to come on Comedy Central. It was like a late night show. He'd go to bars and stuff. Kind of like random. It was pretty funny. Yeah, you might know.
Anything with David Tell is funny.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good. But I love the roast. I wonder if that roast scares people away or it like inspires people to do it some more. You know what I mean? Like, because if you're at that like height of fame, like Tom Brady, like you gotta have, man.
But at the end of the day, But at the end of the day, everybody respects Tom Brady more after he did that.
I do.
Than
I do.
I mean, had anybody held any punches, you wouldn't respect him as much.
No, that's what's fun about it.
I mean, a guy that's got that kind of confidence, just say, oh, whatever, man.
Yeah.
You say whatever you want to say.
Did you ever watch the old, like back in the day when they used to do those? Because I mean, this is like roasting is something that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they used to do it at like the Friars Club. They used to do that, and that was kind of
Netflix did a hell of a job just letting anybody say whatever they wanted to say.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, so, that's the best thing. Dana White was great.
Yeah.
I mean,
how about
I love the stuff that he said.
How about when Kevin Hart was making fun of Dana White's table? He was like, I thought they weren't allowed to bring pets in here. You see that dude? There's one guy that looks like some kind of animal down there. I don't know a lot about the MMA or whatever they do, the fighting stuff, but I figured those were like fighter guys,
Oh yeah, well, it was Max Holloway.
Okay, so you know who they were.
Oh yeah, it was Max Holloway and who else was it? Anyway, I can't remember, but
do you watch those? Are you a fight fan?
I am. I tell you what, though, I used to watch them pretty hardcore until I had my kids, and then I was going to bed at 9:00, and hell, the main events don't start until 11.
Yeah, I'm with you.
11:30, 12 o'clock.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe one day when they're old enough to go to sleep by themselves, I'll watch them again. But
I know. Sleep is very valuable these days.
Oh man,
I'm with you.
I don't care about anything else anymore.
I know. If I get a good night's sleep, the next day is normally pretty good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, my oldest daughter, who's 4, doesn't go to sleep until about 9:30, and I try to go to sleep at 10. I got to be up at 6 to get all her school stuff ready. Let me tell you what. And I used to get up earlier than that, but I was going to bed earlier too. I used to go work out at 5 o'clock, but
look at you, man.
Now let me tell you.
I'll get up and I'm like, this is the day I'm going to do like the 6 a.m. walk, and I just fall back to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, well, I can, and no, I can't,
Dude,
I'm amazed at those people.
Well, I'm not. If if you can focus on yourself, then that's what I'd be doing. But if you got more people to worry about, then that's pretty tough.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. All right, let's talk about betting lines. Early betting lines released. I'm going to throw these up on the screen so everybody can see them. But Alabama at Wisconsin, Tide's a 7.5-point favorite. We're an underdog at home against Georgia. We're at Tennessee, and we're a 2-point favorite. I mean, this is like right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would so buy into that Missouri line. 8.5. I don't think they're going to be that good this year. I'm sorry. At LSU, we're getting a point. At Oklahoma, we're, a 1.5 favorite, and then 15.5 versus Auburn at home, the Iron Bowl. There's just some of the ones that popped out to me.
All right, let's go chronologically.
Okay, start it off. Wisconsin.
We're 7-point favorites.
7.5. I'm worried about the secondary, man. I mean, I'm glad we got Jones, because I'm like, that defensive line better be in the backfield a lot.
Yeah.
If Caleb Downs wouldn't have rolled out on us, I would have felt a lot more comfortable about this defense. Then you could have used Malachi Moore in another spot, Oh
yeah. Well, the more leaders you got, the more helpful it is to the more help you have on the back end in terms of teaching these guys the defense and just having experience and a leader, I'm kind of in that boat of, I'm still a believer in that. Look, if we go 9-3 this year, I still feel pretty good. I mean, 8-4, I'm not, I don't feel great, but
does that get us into the playoff?
8-4?
Mm-hmm.
No. I think we got to be 10-2 to get in the playoff, and I think that's possible. But at the same time, 8-4. I mean, look, man, the guy in the transfer portal era, going 8-4, losing a lot of guys working your ass off to just build what you can for right now, I don't think is crazy. Now, 3 years in, 8-4, that's awful.
Right.
But
you got to get. I mean, he's having to rebuild this entire secondary.
Yeah, I mean, year one, I mean, 8-4, and I know it sounds terrible coming from an Alabama guy, but in the standard that Coach Saban set, but
he's not there.
No, no, that's exactly. I mean, you got to understand. I don't care. Coach Saban went 7-6 his first year.
Yeah, but he's not taking over the program that we had then, though.
No, that's right. That's right. But at the same time, I mean, he didn't have, there was some standards within college football at that point where he knew what his team was. He knew what he had to do to get better. And there was a collective and organized effort to get better. I mean, he understood what he had to do. Kalen DeBoer, nobody's done what he's had to do.
Yeah.
There's no plan. There's nobody to really learn from in this scenario. He's got to build his own format, his own plan, his own approach to being successful in the NIL era and in the transfer portal era. So we're looking at a totally different landscape, and I think it's only fair to give this guy time to figure it out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, Coach Saban's never done what Coach DeBoer is going to have to do.
The thing so much has changed in the world of college football. And, on my podcast, I've talked a lot about Alabama. I don't think that Alabama's like in the Stone Age with NIL, but I feel like Coach Saban was very hesitant about the NIL. And I'm not saying that in a way where I'm like throwing him under the bus or anything. I'm saying that in a way where he expected there to be standards, and that there was going to be rules and
we all play by the same rules.
But now there's no rules or regulations.
No, there's not.
And I think that we got behind in that aspect. And he didn't want to deal with that. And I don't blame him. But you know what? He didn't have to. And he's 70-something years old.
I may be wrong in this, but I mean, when you being a baseball fan and when I was younger and really paying attention to it, you felt like the Yankees were buying all the best players.
Right. And they won a lot of World Series.
You felt like they could just pay anybody whatever they wanted.
The Dodgers are now, pretty much.
Yeah, and so I mean, you felt like you were battling these giants in the Yankees who could pay anybody and get whoever they wanted, and it was an unfair playing field. And when you're the Oakland A's, you got to figure out a different way to do it.
Right.
I mean, you just got to find a way to make things work, even though you're playing against guys who can just pay the best players that are the known best players. I mean, that's kind of what you've got now. And it's an unlevel playing field. And all I'm really getting to is that, look, if Coach DeBoer goes 6-6 this year, I'm not going to be surprised. If he goes,
he's not going 6-6.
I know, but if he goes 10-2, I won't be surprised. If he goes 11-1, I won't be surprised. But at the same time, it's just there's so many variables out there right now that, I mean, how do you hold a guy to a certain expectation when nobody has ever done what he's doing right now?
Yeah. So I mean, he's not going to go 6-6, but I mean, he's going to win.
I mean, I don't think so either.
Well, I know what you mean.
But if he goes 6-6, I mean, it's his first year. I don't know. How do you hold a guy accountable for that?
Right. You're saying, hey, give the guy a chance to like figure it out.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think that I think
we need to have him on this show. I think he'll do it.
I think you would too.
We may have to go up there though. You want to go up there? I mean, why don't we get him on here?
When I talked to him,
he's a great guy.
He was like, "Hey, man, if you need anything in Tuscaloosa, let me know."
We should go up there. And I mean, I love that about him, man. He's accessible.
We'll do it. Let's
go up there. I think so too.
We'll do them all. We'll do Freddie. We'll do Freddie Roach. We'll do Denzel Duvall. We'll bring Ryan up there.
Bring Ryan with us. I don't know if that might be a different type of show than I'm seeing those guys on, but I would love that. Get Ryan. Hey, look, we
might not be talking much football.
No, but No, I've been telling Ryan he needs to do his own show. He's like, I want to do it. I don't know how much football I want to talk. I love that about him.
Let's do it.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I love the fact that he's like he's multi, versed, But I think it would be great. What I'm seeing with the NIL though is it's not like the Yankees going out and buying players. Well, maybe Ohio State, but it's like those teams, like those kind of like middle
Texas,
upper pack.
A&M.
No, it's the Ole Misses. Like I'm gonna buy my way into the elite level.
Oh yeah, I mean, Ole Miss is tired of sucking. You know, I mean, and it's hard to say that for me since they freaking beat me the 2 years I was at Alabama. But I mean, they're tired of things not working.
But they never had the depth to be able to like really fucking
that's
win.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm with you. I get it.
And when you get to that level of I don't know, desperation, you're gonna throw money at whatever it takes to get there. And they've never felt this close to being elite than they do right now.
Yep.
And
because they're close.
Oh yeah. And so, you'll see waves from teams like this, and then Lane will win and do really well and probably end up leaving at some point. But
you think that's his game plan, like to use that? Because I feel like
I think he loves
Ole Miss is a great place for him.
I do think he loves Ole Miss.
I think it's a great place for him.
Oh, I think it is too.
I think
it's helped him
grounded, be more grounded.
Yeah.
Is that a fair way of saying it?
That's the best way I would say it. Kind of find himself, become the best version of himself.
Yeah, and not have the pressure of being in a place like Tuscaloosa.
Man, you go 10-2 at Ole Miss and you're a hero.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
but he's also got the belief in their program enough where he can go to people and say, hey, pay for this guy, because we feel like we're close, and people will do that, Like he could even, I bet you that Ole Miss.
But here's the thing too: if he goes and does that, and they still go 10-2, they're like, oh well, and that was still
a great
awesome.
season.
That was still awesome.
Yeah, right. No, I got you. I'm with you on that.
I mean, even the misses are still worth the loss.
Yeah,
in terms of
they got their ass kicked last year against Georgia so bad, and it was like, they lost to us. We dominated the second half. And they caught us at the right time. He probably should have just kept his mouth shut. He probably should have just came in quiet and said he kind of motivated everybody. And then after that, I got to give him credit. He was kind of quiet the rest of the way, and they were good, and really good, and they would have made the playoff had it been expanded. Then they go to Georgia, and I mean, like, Georgia beat them. Like a rented mule. I mean, it was awful. And I'm sure for him, in his mind, it's like, man, he said it. We got to have better guys, and they've gone out and they've used the transfer portal to add help in the secondary on the offensive line. And that's what I mean. Like Brian Kelly made a comment yesterday, I think, or a couple days ago, where he's talking about,
we're not going to buy players.
We're right. And I get it, man, because I've always liked Brian Kelly. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a great coach. And I get what he's saying. And I think Saban was kind of the same way. Like, we're not doing that. We're not playing that game. Deion, Coach Prime said that too. But the bottom line is this. In this world, you got to buy players. You want those extra depth guys. You want to be able to go out there and add guys in the transfer portal. They're not coming in and going, hey, I want to wear an Alabama uniform. I want to wear an Ole Miss uniform. They're saying, hey, how much of this NIL can I get in my pocket? And that's just the way that it is.
Well, it's like
it's free market.
It's like what I have been saying the last couple shows is look, man, you can believe that these athletes are entitled and they don't deserve to get paid and this and that, whatever you want to say, but and that's fine. I mean, I agree with a lot of that. I mean, a lot of guys don't deserve to be paid before they show up on campus.
Right.
I agree with, I'm all about creating value for the institution that you represent before you get paid. I mean, that makes more sense to me than anything else. But you're going to have the outsiders of all these programs jack all this up. The guys with money are going to pay these kids. And you're going to be sitting on the outside looking in.
And that's my point about Our
So,
NIL. That's what I say about our NIL.
So
that's why we got to build it.
You can say whatever you want to say. I mean, you can say it all day long. I say it too. I said it on the Hey Coach show the other day. I don't believe in NIL the way that it's run today.
Right.
I don't believe that kids should be
agree.
Don't believe that kids should be paid before they show up on campus. I mean, that is black and white. Everybody, I feel like everybody agrees with that. I mean, why would you promise guarantee money to a kid in high school? That makes no sense to me.
Right.
I mean, that is outside of this world. But I mean, Texas A&M, they're going to do it. Texas, they're going to do it. Ohio State, they're doing it.
They did it.
All these schools with money.
Yeah, Ole Miss lost their best player, Judkins, to Ohio State. We lost our best player to Ohio State.
Yeah, any school that
would they spend like $14 million?
Yeah. Now, I mean, no, I'd pay those guys, but
but you know what I'm saying.
But though, I mean, like a high school, you cannot compete with these guys if you don't have that mindset. And I hate to say it too. Just look, man, if you want to be good, you got to do it
right now.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
I understand the issue with it. I really do. I mean, I have that issue too. When I was coming out of high school, I can't imagine asking how much money you could guarantee me. It would just be insane to me. But that's what it comes down to, and it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And I got a couple people in the comments the other day, and they're like, "Oh, you sound like an Auburn apologist." And people got on to me when I was talking about Nick Saban retiring before he retired. Man, it's like part of our job, unfortunately, is to talk about what's going on. And I mean, me hiding my head in the sand on this is not going to make us better. But if anybody has, I'll say the same thing I said on my other show. Like, if anybody has any doubts, I want us to win every fucking game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just do. Like, I want us to beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee and everybody on the schedule. And if that means that for right now, until they come up with a set of rules, that we've got to make sure that our NIL game is tight and that we're able to go out there and do that, then that's what we got to do. I mean, the market tells us that's what the value is, because that's what the market's telling us.
Yeah.
Because you got 100 and some thousand people that are paying pretty good money to be at the football games to watch them, plus all of the other stuff that goes along with it. Right.
Yeah.
Including our podcast that people are going to watch because they love football. They're not watching women's basketball podcast at Alabama. I'm sorry. Got to throw it out there. But they're watching football, and it's because people care about it. It's that's what people here love. And there is a big market for it. So,
I mean, look, it'd be tough.
Simple economics, Jake.
If I'm a recruit and I'm looking at my possible landing spot, if I've got a coach that can't tell me what he's going to guarantee me, and then I've got Ohio State saying, "Hey, I got $500,000 waiting on you over the next 2 years."
It's a lot of money.
I mean, it's like, well, I mean,
you can do a lot with that.
Had I made $500,000 while I was at Alabama, playing in Alabama, well, my mortgage payment would be a lot less.
Zero if you paid off, unless your house is more than that. But I mean, it could be really low. Back then, I bet you could have got a damn good house for $500,000.
Back then, yeah, just a short 6 years ago.
Yeah, right before interest rates.
Before somebody jacked it up.
Yeah, I know. That's a whole nother show. I think we all know who that was. Man, I got to tell you, I'm excited about that Wisconsin game. I can't wait for Georgia to come
I'd love
town.
to go to that game.
Me too, man.
And the reason, I'll tell you why. The reason is, we're coming out of COVID. The first football game that I watched after COVID was kind of over, and the first packed out stadium was Wisconsin.
It looks like a fun place.
And they played jump around. I mean, that was the first. It was so exciting to see your first football game again. That was everybody took part. There was no regulation on who sat there. It was jump around at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And that was something I'll never forget, just coming out of that COVID era where, you saw the student body, and the whole fan base excited about a game. And you know, not really any masks, and everybody was having a good time, and it was kind of like that. That was the first college football experience, and then there was a regional baseball game with Arkansas, and I can't remember who they were playing, but Arkansas had a walk-off home run, and the stands were packed. Those are my first two memories, just watching games after COVID where the stands were full, and it was just, I mean, the most relieving feeling.
Yeah, like this is finally over.
Oh, we're finally done.
Yeah.
You know.
Arkansas is a great place to watch baseball.
Arkansas has always been pretty strong in baseball. I feel like Arkansas and Mississippi State have always been
LSU,
kind of
the Bob.
LSU.
Yeah.
Except
Paul Skeens, man.
You know, man.
Did you see Paul Skeens is going to be in the big leagues now?
Oh yeah.
Number one pick.
102
coming at you.
My grandfather-in-law, he's a huge LSU fan, and he's probably going to hear this. But man, LSU was playing A&M. You know, A&M's number one, and A&M was up 2-1, I guess, last weekend. And I sent him a couple text messages just bashing LSU, talking trash about them. And here comes LSU. They beat them game one, and then they sweep them in game two.
No,
and
they did not. Did they?
I was like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, yeah. And LSU's like 13-13.
Yeah, but you know, they're young, and they're figuring it out, man.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah, look, dude, they have had some.
And he's like, he's like, keep talking trash. You need to keep it up. I was like, gosh.
I'm strategic on my shit talking, you know.
Well, I figured I'd kick somebody while they're down.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Get them while he's down.
Oh, yeah. Because, you know, I mean, LSU's always on top in baseball. I mean, last year, you got Skeens, all that. I was like, I'm gonna just curb stomp LSU while they're down. And,
he's pitching against my Cubs on Saturday. I can't wait to watch it, man.
He was fun to watch.
He's gonna be great. I mean, no doubt about it. And look, if you're
what's crazy is he went to Air Force.
Yeah, I know, and transferred in. I'm telling you this right now. You play in the SEC, and I'm pulling for you. If you're not playing Alabama, I know I'm probably crazy for saying that.
Oh yeah,
but I pull for the SEC guys, man. Like I just do. Even some Auburn dudes, you know, like that's not a lot, but some of them.
Yeah.
A few of them. No, I do. I like the SEC, man. It's like you make it through.
Oh, I just wonder how he made it to Air Force. Where's he from?
You got some Air Force ties.
Oh yeah, my oldest sister and me did not go to Air Force, and then my older brother, my younger sister, and younger brother all went to Air Force. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, me and my older sister, I guess we just didn't quite make it.
Yeah, shout out to you. Reminded me, my uncle John just got out of the hospital. 50 years though he did in the Air Force.
Really?
Yeah, you don't believe in the power of prayer, but man, I'll tell you what, we prayed him right out of. We didn't know if he was going to make it or not. Like I came home like last Monday. So
what he had was wrong.
He had some kind of infection, you know, and was in the hospital for like a while, you know, like I'm going to say like almost a month or something.
Yeah.
So, but he's an man. You heard about Air Force all the time from him. I didn't go to the academy, but he just was in the Air Force forever.
Oh yeah.
And nothing but loves it. You know, loved it. They had to basically like push him out because he didn't want to leave, you know. So Uncle John, man, shout out to you and everyone in the Air Force.
Man, I tell you what, I wish I'll never forget that. And I know I've told this story on this podcast before, but man, when we walked out there on that field in the national championship, and they had they're singing the national anthem. Well, Kaylee Hartung, you know, she shows me she's FaceTiming my older brother who's in the Middle East at that point.
Yeah.
Watching the game in a freaking tent.
Yeah.
You know, and she shows me his face and I'm warming up in the end zone. I'm like crying already. You know, I'm just like,
what a sacrifice.
And then, I mean, can you imagine, you know, shit, I'm playing a fucking football game in Arizona in front of 100,000 people or whatever it is. And my older brother's in, I mean, he's watching the game in a tent, about to go on a all day freaking flight, you know, protecting all these soldiers on the ground. And I remember as I was throwing the ball and she showed, I was like, Kayla, you can't show me. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm all fucked up now.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right,
I mean,
right.
I'm just in tears. You know, can't even imagine I'm playing a game and he's over there.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah, that type of service, man. You know,
it's so funny. We were talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, we were watching a game, and I had all my buddies around me, and we're in this tent, and I believe he was at Bagram at the time.
yeah,
You know, Bagram.
yeah.
Everybody knows Bagram now. And he's like, I'm watching the game on this, projector in the middle, in this tent in the middle of the Middle East. I mean, just other side of the world." And he's like, these two Clemson fans come in. These two Clemson soldiers walk in. They're like, and him and all his buddies and everybody in there. They all know Patrick. They all know my brother's name is Patrick. They all know Pat. And everybody's cheering for us, just through Patrick. These two Clemson fans, soldiers walk in like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, they're just cussing them out like, get the hell out of here,
I'm glad we won that.
Yeah, me too.
That's so funny.
But it's so fun, it's crazy to just think about, you're playing this.
What a great moment, too.
I mean, you're playing this game that is so childish, and yet you've got people that are putting so much on the line watching this game, and I don't know. I guess give them a little bit of feeling of back home, and unity and all that. At times you think of how small it is. You're just playing a game, and then sometimes you think about what it means to certain people, and I don't know. It's
that's what our country's always been about, like there's a lot of great things about America, man. And like,
oh man, best country in the world,
no
doubt about it.
Yeah. I mean, I love our country, definitely, man. I'm my dad was in the Army, and you just get that like right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
You grow up with like the respect for the flag.
Oh yeah.
What it means to be born in this lottery ticket, that is America.
Oh my God. Well, yeah.
Is that a fair statement?
No, you think about that. We're so spoiled, and you see all these kids protesting meaningless shit.
Yeah, right. Be proud of like the fact that you get freedom to do that,
Proud you got freaking running water and a nice place to live, and you can say what you want.
Yeah.
You think, I mean, 100 years ago, you think about the conditions that people lived with in 100 years ago.
Oh, I know.
And I mean, you got more than what
probably what we deserve.
Or any
we got more than we deserve.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, I think that's fair.
I mean, you think you're living. I mean, look, when I got done playing football, I had a lot of hard things to look at and try to figure out, but you got it made as long as you work hard,
Yeah.
And it's a blessing to be able to work hard and make your own future for yourself.
Yeah. That's what I think about this country too, man. Yeah. I mean, I think about where I came from and where I am and where I want to go. And, there's a lot of time I hear it a lot. Like I'm never satisfied, because I'm a pretty driven person, like it's like you go from the next thing to the next thing, but you want to kick ass at it, like it's like, oh, I got a nice house. Well, I don't have a pool.
I mean, it's such it's such a, it's like, it's a
I got too much sand in the backyard here.
It's a terrible thing to think about. Just, I don't have a pool, but it's
if I work hard,
you also got to think, man, how awesome is it that I can work hard and
I can get one,
have my own pool.
Yeah, right. Like I can get one, you know, or like a car or like anything.
Oh man, the house I'm living in right now at 31, I would have. I mean, I'm so happy and so proud and so happy to have two kids that are safe and going to school that they go to. I mean, it's just and I don't, it's not like I make a ton of money. It's just I can take care of them and we can do our own thing and it's not like I'm chasing $1 billion, but we get to go on a vacation here and there and on a good year, and we get to have fun. And I mean, you got to enjoy the little things.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. I mean, I'm totally with you. I bet you a lot of people out there know exactly what you're saying.
Oh, I mean, it's just I don't know. You got to appreciate what you got.
Sometimes you may need to leave the borders of our country to go out there and see what the rest of the world's like. I mean, my dad used to say that stuff to me all the time. It was one of the reasons I went to Alabama. He was like, "Man, you need to go south," and it was the best decision I ever made. I love it here. I hate when I leave the state.
It's just honesty, I mean, people just don't care down here. They just, hey, it is what it is.
People are pretty nice around here.
You figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
And nobody feels sorry for each other. I mean, figure it out. Let's make friends. Let's do business together, and I'll try to help you out where I can.
Another thing too is like all the tornadoes that went through yesterday and even some today, and I think about 2011. I think we talked about it, volunteering with Coach Saban, changed my perspective on coach and just a lot of things in life, going out there and volunteering and being in Alberta City and Holt and all those places and Tuscaloosa too, and didn't matter like who you were, where you came from, how much money you had or you didn't have. We all just got together and just like worked as a team, like had each other's backs. And I feel like when I see these places that Columbia, Tennessee, they got hit really bad. And I'm like, it's tough. And I remember Dennis Llewellyn, who's a big Alabama fan, pitched for the Dodgers. Was a pitching coach for the Smokies. That's how I know him. And he was telling me, he's like, it feels like, because he was the pitching coach, and it was really hard, like going through that whole thing in 2011. He was like, you'll rebuild. Everybody rebuild. And as tough as it is, it'll get better, and it does, man. Like, but the things that I remember, like being on a roof, that church at the end of Helen Keller. I don't even know why I was on the roof of that church, but we were trying to put a tarp on it. And I'm afraid of heights, but they looked at me like I was like one of the guys from the Three Amigos, like coming into Mexico. Like the guy, this was this like Scottish guy or something. He's like, we got to get the tarp on the roof, or it's going to ruin the sanctuary, Next thing I know, I'm building steps, and I built steps out of the wood that was like blown off of houses with like a nail, and like, get up there, and I'm putting the tarp, and I'm like look out, and I'm like, man, what am I doing up here? And these guys from Louisiana were there, and I'm like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, we just thought you needed some help, and they're Cajun accents, big LSU fans. And we got the tarp on that church, and then we all went to different places to volunteer, and it was like, man, that's what America's about, man. It's just like when someone's down, you get their back, like for no other reason, just because it's what we do.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
But there used to be an understanding of when people were really down, I mean, really, really down.
Yeah.
And an understanding of an appreciation for really, really hard work. And, I guess
people accept you if you're a good neighbor.
Yeah.
If you're a good person. And like with Kalen DeBoer, like, Brian Harsin came down and he didn't fit in. Kalen DeBoer fits in. Nate Oates fits in.
Man, that's one hell of a transition.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like, they're not from down here, but they come in and like, just talking football and basketball. I mean, but
Coach Saban wasn't from down here.
Yeah, Coach Saban too. I mean, like, you come down and you treat people good, and like you can fit in. Now, if you come down here and you're fake, people figure that out fast.
Man, there's nothing more respected down here than if you work your ass off.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's even if I can already tell. I mean, you can see how hard Coach DeBoer works. I mean, he's already earning a lot of respect from a lot of people that, just through his transfer portal progress, his constant effort and staying out there and raising NIL money and doing the things that are necessary to be the head coach here, and just becoming kind of part of the cloth of Alabama.
That's good point, man.
I mean, he's really working hard to just be a part of the community,
but
that goes a long way.
Look, he's not going to be there until he comes on our podcast.
Yep,
he's got to jump one more mountain. But
we'll have to tweet this to Kalen.
Yeah, Kalen, you better come on, man. Whether you're down here or we'll go up there and see you. You're worth the trip to T-Town. We'll do this. Right. We need to do this at Innisfree with him. So we got Wisconsin then versus Georgia. We're a 4.5 point dog at home. When's the last time that happened? Are you worried about Georgia?
Probably 2008 when we played Georgia at home.
No, that was there.
No, remember we lost to Georgia at home too, though. They hit a field goal at the end to win in like 2008.
Was that 2008? No,
or the year before we played
maybe
at Georgia.
Yeah, maybe 2007.
It must have been 2007.
Because 2008 was the blackout. I was there.
Okay.
Hell of a day. Hell of a night.
We lost to them in overtime.
Yeah, maybe the year before. Yeah.
Yeah, at Alabama.
And then I was there for that one too. I think I still see there's like Stafford threw like a pass in the corner of the end zone or something. I don't know. But the blackout was way better.
We thought we had them.
Yeah.
It was a tough ending.
So we got that. That's going to be interesting kind of to see Styles at Tennessee, 2-point favorite at Tennessee. We lost there last time. They got a lot of help with the officiating. I think we talked about that. I don't know what Tennessee's going to look like. I know Nico's a good quarterback. They'll be good. Like I said, I'm not buying in that Missouri's good. 8.5. That'd be one where I'd ride on that one.
Even when Missouri was good, they were still coming out of the East.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of. I know they had a good year this year, but it was every game they won
was close.
Yeah, you were like they were still underdogs. Every game.
And they were good. They were picking up steam as the season went on.
they were a solid team that could hang in there, and I felt like they were learning how to win, which is a big component to being a championship caliber team, but I still didn't feel like they were a dominant force in the SEC.
+1 at LSU, and then that's going to be a tough game. And then we're a favorite 1.5 at Oklahoma. That's crazy to think Oklahoma and Texas are here now. They're in. That's a conference game. And then Auburn.
Awesome. Man, I love it. It's
going to be so many good games. I can't wait for us to talk about those games. It'll be like a lot.
It's going to be awesome.
About. And then who knows what else is going to happen? Who else is going to emerge? But I love the early lines. Obviously, all of our friends at MyBookie can go and take care of maybe they can go on there and hit that next round code. But a lot of good football. And then we got to talk some hoops because we're both big basketball fans, and
looking like number one out of the preseason.
When Sears officially comes back, if he doesn't go to the NBA, I think he's going to.
You imagine him being the floor general for the guys that are coming in next year?
That really play defense. We could wear that hard hat, get hot at the tournament. Just let's kick some ass.
Oh yeah.
Love Nate, man. Now that Nate and I are tight because of the mullet toss. But they added Illinois to the schedule. This guy, man, he goes out and plays everybody.
Does not care.
Doesn't give a shit.
Anybody, anywhere, anytime.
That's what it should be. But you can't do that if you don't have a good squad. We have a lot of losses.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, man, it paid off last year so much in the tournament. When you get to the Sweet 16 and you look around and you've played, a majority of the 16 teams in the last 2 years.
You get there and everybody is undervaluing who you are, which I'll be honest, I was one of those guys. I didn't think we'd make it that far, which I think everybody for the most part was. But when you get to a certain point, you're like, screw it, man. I'm going all out 100% no matter what. We've played these guys. I mean, I'm not afraid of these guys.
No. And that's how they looked in the tournament.
Yeah.
They ran into the one team that would have beat anybody, right? And I think if they would have been on the other side of the bracket, they would have ran into UConn in the championship, But I think it's amazing that Nate Oates has just retooled again, man. And I like what we're putting out there. We add Amori, it gives us a big
crazy
center.
Yeah, what's crazy to me though is that some of these guys have had $1 million offers from other schools.
Yeah, they said he turned down $2 million to come to play at Alabama.
Less to come to Alabama.
It's nuts. It really is.
I mean, it says a lot about him.
Yeah, it really does. And honestly, like I think the next step for us as a basketball school, and I don't think that it's necessarily we're a basketball school. We're a athletic school. You know, like we support teams that are good. We just got to make that Coleman Coliseum like ticket tough to get. We got to go in there, and I think we're all kind of at that point now where it's like, you know, he's turned it into something that's, you know, can't miss type of event, and we just got to go in there and watch it. I can't wait for basketball. Not that I'm not excited about football, but I mean, it's a good transition, you know?
Oh yeah. No, that's right. That's right. Might have taken an ad read.
I you're doing the golf tournament swing right now.
Oh yeah.
You're are you considered like celebrity? Like when you go, you know, you're doing that celebrity shit. Is that what you're doing?
I played today for the first time with somebody that was 10 years younger than me. And
were they hitting bombs?
No. I still
you still got it.
I'll still hit it further than anybody I'm playing with for the most part. It would take I play with a couple people that can hit it, you know, with me, or I feel like maybe further than me, but it's very few and far between. But
is that your game, the long game?
Oh yeah,
that's what I heard. I heard from it couldn't have been that long because you just played in the Floribama golf tournament like a couple weeks ago.
My problem is I slice it, and anybody who hits it, a right-hander that hits it left to right, does not hit it as far as a guy who draws it. And my swing is just, I either slice it or I got a little fade and it doesn't roll out, you know? But yeah, I played with a guy that's 10 years younger than me. And today was really a landmark moment for me, feeling very, very old. And
was he like talking about the new Taylor Swift album or something?
Nah, he asked me where I went to school, and you know, like fuck.
He's like, hey, I'm a big Alabama fan. You roll with the Tide, or you an Auburn guy? How do you answer that?
He was an Auburn guy. I was just like, yeah, I went to Florida State for 3 years, and I went to Alabama for my next 2, and
just kind of played it like that. Huh?
No, that's right, and I always do. I mean, people that I don't know, I never say. I'm never like, I played at Alabama. You know, I mean, that's not what
you don't drop one of these right here.
I will never do. I honestly, I try
to wear the ring.
I try to hide my Alabama football playing career from everybody until it gets down to that point where you absolutely have to say something. But
when you're like rolling and somebody wants to take a picture with you. Hey, hold on a second. Hey, would you take a picture? Like
it's so funny. It is so
I'm trying
funny.
to have a beer with you, and everybody wants to get a picture with you.
It is so
I'm in the middle of a great joke, and then all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah. Thank God. Yeah.
The thing is, like, you're, man, so graceful with that stuff, man. You really do go out of your way to just, if somebody wants a picture, I've seen you do it, autographs, all that stuff. That's got to be tough.
Look, man, the last thing I want is for somebody to say, man, that guy's an asshole.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
I mean, and I mean, I don't want to be an asshole, you know. I mean, I want to be a nice guy, and, and I want to represent Alabama the right way, and when somebody meets my parents, I want them to say, hey, your son was really nice, you know. I mean, that's
the goal.
That's
What about like on a normal day, like, you know, somebody like you're at a restaurant and you get bad service, or like you're at the line at the bank, you know, do you worry about like, you know, like I'm always thinking like, and I don't have any fame, but I worry about that because
sometimes
you got to tell somebody that sucked, dude. Like
when I was really young, before I understood the workforce, and I'm not saying I understand waiting tables or driving trucks or anything like that. But when I first got out of football and I went and worked, I was working for a, won't name the company, but I was working for Timberland's company. It was a timber company, and we ran a bunch of wood yards and managed a lot of trucks, or at least the logistics of trucks. We didn't own any, but we managed the logistics of them. And that was my first taste of what real hard work was. A lot of people running knuckle boom loaders and doing a lot of manual labor and driving trucks. And, I realized, all these guys had families and how hard they were working and what they had to put up with and showing up at 5:30 in the morning, to bust their ass every day just to pay for their kids so that their kids would have a good life. That's when I really had a real appreciation for hard work,
Mm-hmm.
We woke up early and worked out in college, but we played football, but these guys are showing up and working their ass off for somebody else and driving trucks all day, all night to make money to pay for their kids to go to school and have their kids have a good life. That's when I learned real quick. I'm not gonna complain about service.
Mm-hmm.
People that have a bad attitude, sometimes I'm like, look, every now and then, again, you're working hard, you're doing what you're supposed to do, supporting people. I know you're having a bad day, and I kind of step out of the way and understand that. I've become a lot more flatlined
Mm-hmm.
in the last 5 years than I was when I was in my early 20s, before I realized what real hard work was.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Had some guys that worked, I'm not going to say under me, but I told them where to be and what to do, and those guys, busted their ass and did things that I wish I was willing to do, and so I've got the utmost appreciation for that, and just changes your perspective when you see people working from 6 a.m., 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. in jobs that are tough.
Yeah, right. And get up and do it again. And,
oh yeah.
And my dad used to get so worried about Sunday night because he had to go to work on
Monday, yeah.
Friday was a big deal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
me,
so there's an appreciation that I have for people that get up and do that to take care of their families. That is, I can't get upset with people if they're, not having a good day.
Yeah.
And servers at restaurants, that is a tough job. That's that's very similar. You're working your ass off and not making a ton, but doing what you got to do to support the people you love. And man, that's, to me, that says a lot about you.
Yeah.
I appreciate those people and those jobs, and I try to tip well as much as I can, just because I really appreciate those people,
Oh, good. I'll remember that next time if you can.
Yeah. Next time you serve me a beer, though, that's on you.
Yeah. No, I'm waiting on a tip. No, man, I'm with you on that too, man. Probably why we get along, because I'm the same way, man. My dad used to he was a bulldozer operator,
Oh yeah.
He was a blue collar guy.
People
he didn't even know how to read. Think about that. You know, like it's so crazy to think about, like, him not being able to like read, being illiterate. But but he was in the military and he did that, but he was a hard worker. He was a smart guy. He just, they didn't really have at that point the understanding of people that had disabilities back then, like just,
he's just dumb.
Yeah, right. Like, just push you through, he used to talk about that. And now, like, we understand that there's different ways that people learn and trying to get them to learn and figuring out how to educate people and stuff. But But I'm with you on that, man. Like you appreciate the people that do the things that they do because
man,
everybody's important, man.
I used to drive on these. I mean, when I was my first job out of football, I used to ride on these 2-lane roads because we had to get to certain wood yards, and I mean, I'd be hauling ass, and I'd be passing a truck, and they'd be kind of swerving on and on, in and out of your lane, and I'd be angry, like, what are you doing? Stay in your lane. And I got to know a lot of those guys that were doing that work, and I was like, man, these guys have been working their ass off.
Right. They got to get to the next spot.
And I'm sitting here angry, just driving over there to see how everything's going. It's like, this is a whole different level of determination and work that, I mean, again, these guys just doing what they can to make the next generation better off than they were.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I guess that's what gives you an appreciation for the older generations, and kind of you see these younger generations that you feel like are spoiled and fighting for things that don't matter as much.
Yeah, right. Bad perspective. With that said, now that turkey season's over, what the hell are you going to do?
Man, I got a crawfish boil this weekend. I got a crawfish boil this weekend. And
deer season's over. Turkey season's over.
Yeah,
now, is it crawfish boil season?
It's crawfish boil season, and it's fish catching season.
Yeah. I'm with let's go fishing.
I'm going to be filleting a lot of fish this weekend.
Man, take me with you, because I love to catch them, as long as they're not like bass and catfish. I mean, you're talking about like snapper and like spotted trout. And don't look at me like that. I don't want any catfish. I mean, look, I've got a lot of respect for the Catfish Cabin, but that ain't.
I'm bringing you some bass. You
keep saying that. I mean, like,
I'll bring them to you next week.
We'll see.
I'll bring you some fillets next week. You'll love them.
I like the ones that are right. I don't know if when you pull up, you see that bay that's out there. I like the ones out of there. Redfish. You ever had those before? You ever had sheep's head?
Right by the wastewater treatment facility over
here. Sheep's head. Do you know sheep's head?
Oh, yeah.
They're good.
Oh, yeah. I grew up on
Triple Tail.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
We'll take the Freebird out. Let's catch some fish, man.
The Freebird out.
That's my boat. The Freebird.
Do you have that painted on the back?
No, because it's not big enough. My friends made it clear that you got to be a certain size to put your name on there. But I'm not. Look,
Brick can tell you that.
Yeah, Brick can tell me that. I'm not. It's exactly who it was. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't want to, like, if that's the way it is, I'm fine with that. We'll wait when our podcast takes off, and I put another 10 feet on that boat. Get about 30 something. Then you put a name on.
Yeah, get you that. We'll split a Viking.
Oh, that would be awesome. Dude, that would be. My cousin lives in Biloxi. He's got, I think, 2 of his other buddies. They have 3 boats together. And I remember going to Biloxi.
What the hell does he do?
He's a police officer, and his other friend's a lawyer. And I don't know what the other guy does, but they've got a blackjack. They've got like a speedboat. Like they have 3 different boats. And I remember like going out on the boat with Kyle and being like, this is awesome. Yeah. He's like, yeah, we all kind of, but they all live pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now that would be the way to do it. Because I mean, I have one, I don't even get to take it out all. I work so much. Like it's that when I back that boat in and it doesn't sink, and I get about 100 feet out, and I'm like, all right, get the music going, everything's good. That's a great feeling. But it would be nice to have, like to be able to switch up on what boat you got, Then maybe if I hit it big, I'll just have 3 boats. But yeah, man, boating down here is such a part of life, man. You know that, like,
oh yeah,
get out on the water. Being out on the water is the best. The problem is that it's just finding the days that the water's right, because you got, the Mobile Bay. For those of you guys that haven't been down here, it is a tricky body of water. Like it's in the terms of what boat people will tell you is that the Mobile Bay is a motherfucker. It'll change on you fast. And there's somebody watching that knows what I'm talking about. It'll go from glass.
That is some maritime terminology there.
I told my son, I hope he didn't go to school, but one day we're riding out there, and this is the term that everybody uses. So I'm like, man, this water is slick. It's as slick as owl shit.
He's using that.
No, I was telling that. Like, but that's what everybody says down there. I don't even know. It's not like I have an owl that lives out back here. And he's got a couple crows that just want to fight him all the time, man. It's just really insane. He's a big owl. And, but I'm always like, I've never even seen him poop before, but I just know that that's the term. But it'll go from that to whitecaps like that fast.
The best way to get a turkey to gobble
is probably alcohol.
Owl.
What my grandfather was a farmer.
I owl to him all the time. It's pretty shitty, but I do.
And it works.
Oh yeah.
And they'll come in.
Oh yeah.
So my grandfather was a farmer, and he had this battle with crows. I mean, like Pop and the crows had a lifetime battle because they would swoop into his garden and just tear everything up, and they're smart. Yeah. And so you can't just go out there and shoot them like they see you coming. And he told me when I came to school here, because I was going to be on the interstate, he was like, I will pay you if somebody runs over an owl, grab it, put it in a cooler and bring it to me. And I'll pay you for it, because he had a friend that would taxidermy that owl. And if you put the owl call with the owl, the crows, even if they see you there, they hate the owl so much that they'll come in and shoot them. And he said he had one, and it's against the law to shoot them. And like he was big on that, like not he would never do that, So you just got you can't just go out and shoot an owl and make a taxidermy out of it. But if somebody ran one over, and so he said he had one, and he used it so much that it got messed up. Like he needed a new one. And God rest his soul, man. You would love him, man. The hunting and fishing. He was a big country boy, and he wanted an owl so bad. And the shame is like, once in a while you'll see one. And I always think about them when I see, and I love owls. That's one of my favorite animals, just because it was my high school mascot. And then, they're just crazy. Like they're big. You can't hear them flying. They're like, you ever notice that? Like they when they fly, you can't hear them.
Oh yeah.
And they hoot and, they're just cool, man. Like they don't really have predators, but, I never did find him one.
No, one of the craziest things I've ever seen is I was, turkey hunting one time, and I was owling at turkeys and trying to get them to gobble. And while I'm so while I'm doing it, an owl comes and lands like right over the top of me, starts owling back at me.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, it happens a lot, but this time it was like literally right over my head. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching this owl, and it's owling back at me, and I'm just messing with it at this point, not hearing any turkeys gobbling. And we're going back and forth. And he's just like, he's just laying into me, and all of a sudden I see a squirrel come out of this tree. And it is on a dead sprint. And it went
after the
owls eat squirrels. This thing, straight on stone cold Steve Austin tries to spear this owl. Dives into it and just hammers it, and that owl takes off flying away, scared out of its mind of the squirrel.
We had one over the studio where you're sitting, like less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and Stephanie's like, "Hey, you gotta come see this. Go outside," and it's the owl and two blackbirds are dive bombing this thing.
Oh yeah,
like whoof, woof, like, you know, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. But the mockingbirds will attack them.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh
that
yeah.
must be the way that they defend themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've seen a hawk eat a little mockingbird and bird just going crazy.
Trying to save.
Oh yeah. Trying to peck at him. And, you know,
really, man, that's crazy. That'd be,
but crows are notorious for hating owls.
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what Pop wanted. Like he hated the crows and he wanted an owl. I never did find him one. I mean, my best friend, man, my grandfather was my best friend. I loved him. You talk about a dude that just, I remember, like, I would tell him about whatever my problem was. And he'd be like, man, you got to live a simple life. And it was like very good advice that at the time you're like, that's so simple to say that, you know, live a simple life. I mean, you know, but his point is like, you know, you get caught up in all of this other stuff, but at the end of the day, it's hard work.
Oh yeah.
Showing up on time, leaving late. You know, I try to teach this to the interns that I have, being reliable, being honest.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's perfect, but you know, the guys I like are the ones that just tell you what they really like, you know, hey man, you know, here's what I got going on. And sometimes it isn't necessarily what you want to hear, but I respect the fact that, because that's why I was close to him.
Oh yeah.
I remember being at Alabama and, you know, going to those KA band parties and being hungover on Sunday. He'd call me every Sunday and he's like, son, what are you doing? And I'm like, Pop, I was at Waffle House at 3 a.m. Everybody else was scared of him.
Yeah.
None of my other cousins ever told him anything. You know, they were trying to play the game, you know.
Oh yeah.
I just, you know, my father died when I was young, you know, his son, and we just had a different relationship. It wasn't like I never tried to impress him.
Yeah.
Other than telling a good joke or like a crazy Alabama, you know, story, campus story or something.
Oh yeah.
Never tried to be anything but me. And that's, I think, why I appreciate that from people too. You know, nobody's perfect, man, but you know, you like the people that just are genuine with who they are.
The guy I was playing golf with today is his son is actually one of my good buddies from high school, and I just you know, over the years we've gotten to be good buddies and are good friends. I mean, I still look at him as, you know, kind of an older mentor, I guess, but at the same time we are friends. And I was talking to him about, we were riding up to one of the balls that I hit dead center to the fairway, a long way out there, but
drop that in. One of my bombs.
Yeah. So anyway, it was one of my shots. It was a long way, so we had a long time to talk, you know, long drive. And anyway, I was like, you know, it's so funny. You when you're young, you know, you look at these people that are older than you and you think that they've got everything, you know, all figured out, and it's all I guess, organized and they got all their shit together. And then once you get older and you kind of get in the business world and you're around all these people, you're like, they don't have shit figured out. They're in the same boat as everybody else.
We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's the truth, man. And I think that's why we had such a great relationship. I mean, just because, you know what? I mean,
it puts you in a lot better spot, realizing that, you know, everybody's just trying to bust their ass and figure it out the same way that you are.
Yeah. And also, like, there's also something too, like,
but it is scary at the same time, knowing that there's people that at older ages that have not figured it out. And you're just like, man.
I know, man. I think that, like, he was really, like, good at the things he did. And it was like, I looked up to that, you know, because that's what I strive for, not because of him, because that's just the way I'm wired, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
It's almost like you figure out that some people understand how to find happiness, and there's some people that can't.
Yeah.
And you got to find that niche of what makes you happy, what simplifies everything, and get you to that place where, you know, you're kind of even keel and everything's good.
Mm-hmm. Do you and I mean, like, kind of as we wind this down, but man, it's such a deep topic because, you know, I think about this too. I'm so driven, you know, like I just always, it's the next thing, you know, like it's the next thing. Like if it isn't right now, it's not the Cubs, right? It's not Major League Baseball. That's what my job, what I wanted to do. That's what I fought to do and got pretty close to it. Really got there before COVID. And now it's something else. And it's like, at the time, I'm like, man, I you know, what's my life going to be like without that?
Yeah.
And then you get into other stuff and it's like, well, maybe this is, you know, like I can be good at this, but I always have to have that thing, like where it's like, maybe everybody's like this, where you're just like, you put that next thing that's here and it's like, you got to get to that. And then when you get there, it's not like, oh, I'm here. It's like, okay, I got that. Now I want to take this next step. I think my pop was like that too. You know, like it was always like, hey, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? You know, if that ends, I don't know what life would be like. Like, how would I be happy if I ever got to the point where it was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I'm done. Like, I guess that's when you die, right? Like, I don't know. I had this conversation with my aunt the other day.
I think for some people, I don't know. For me, when I first got done playing football, man, it was, I mean, you know, that was my whole idea, was that.
And your identity.
Football was going to work out, and I'd be, you know, making money playing football, and everything was, you know, going to be all good. There was, you know, I'd have no worries moving on in life. And when I stopped playing football, it was a very tough time for me. I mean, it was an identity crisis. You know, you miss the guys you play with. You don't really have that support group that you've always had. You know, I was reading up about what's his name, Aaron. He played for the New Orleans Saints. Aaron, I can't remember his last name, but anyway, he kind of said the same thing, and that it took him a long time to cope with not playing football anymore. And it didn't matter. The money didn't matter. The fame didn't matter. It really wasn't about that. It was just about finding your identity after football and having a safe haven, I guess, to call home. And, you know, I once I got into, now what I'm into is insurance, and I found an industry that I love, and really it's not really the industry, it's the people, and found a niche where people care about each other and take care of each other, and I have a network that I can lean on.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's not, at this point, it's not about finding the next level. It's just kind of working within that network and growing that network into more people that I can, you know, identify with and have a good time with and bond with and kind of grow my family with. And it's not, to me, it's gotten to a point where it's not really about, you know, money or anything else. It's just about the relationships and growing those and dealing with people that I like, and that have respect for other people and do things the right way.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess it's more of a culture thing than anything else. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does, man. I mean, like when Ryan comes in, you know, here's a guy that just got out of the NFL.
Oh man.
And I just like, I look at him and I'm like, man, I like him so much. Right. Like, I feel like I've told you, reminds me of somebody I'd have been friends with growing up, you know, like totally just get where he's coming from. And it's like, you know, I'm done with the NFL and now this is what I'm doing and this is my team, you know. It's like he brings everybody. What makes him great is he brings all of us into,
let me tell you,
his team.
I've never met anybody who transitioned so well, but I guess, you know, I mean, Ryan also had that the experience and the longevity in the NFL to understand that. I mean, he had more closure than I did, I guess. But
right.
I remember when we first talked about that, he's like, man, I'm kind of done with it. And I was like, well, man, look, there's going to be a hole there for a little while you're trying to figure out exactly what you want to do. But, you know, he had done some developments while he was in the NFL and had kind of had it figured out, and I've never seen anybody transition into a professional lifestyle the way that he has. And
yeah, right. 22 builds, by the way, Ryan.
Yeah.
It's not builds 22, like I said at the Mullet Talk.
He really
didn't
is.
hold it against
He's
me,
such an impressive person.
He
you know?
is, man.
I mean, he's just
the star. He was really the star of the Mullet Talk.
He really was.
I
mean, I was just like watching him go back and forth. I'm like, holy shit, I gotta keep up with Ryan.
Yeah, like
you know, oh yeah, and talking to he just. I mean,
it makes everybody feel like he's known them forever.
Yeah, he's like a black Donald Trump.
Really, he is. Maybe he's going to be president one day.
Hey man, if he ran for president, he'd have my vote.
Yeah, me too.
I love him.
I do too.
But you know, it's guys like that. The cool thing about coming back and like when Ryan comes back, of course, I've been involved in the business sector in Mobile for longer than he has, but introducing him to all the people that I know that are good people. And he jumps right in and he gets to know everybody and everybody loves him. It's so much fun to watch that happen and just be a part of that. Cause, you love watching good people that work hard be successful. And he is the epitome of that.
Yeah, he is. And we got to get him in here next week.
I know.
So we nailed down 2 shows this week, which is good. Next week early, I'll be here. So I maybe for two shows.
I'm out Monday, but I can be in Tuesday.
Tuesday? All right, we can do Tuesday. It'll be fun.
My brother's actually in town. He'll be in Fairhope next week. Yeah.
Really?
Hell, maybe we ought to get an A10 show.
Bring him in,
man. Pat in.
Hey, I would love it, man. I try to get Bricken to come in here. Anybody that we feel like bringing in, we can bring them in.
That would be actually. We're supposed to play golf Sunday. I might just call. Are you gonna be around Sunday?
Yeah.
All right. We may go play golf Sunday, and then I may bring him in here.
Do it, man. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Yeah, Sunday.
He can't tell all the stories, but he can tell some of it. And man, let me tell you, Pat's he's an animal.
Yeah. That'd be great. I'd love to see the dynamic of 2 Cokers in the same room. I've heard about Mom and Dad were supposedly going to come in at some point. Haven't seen them yet.
No, yeah.
Bring them.
He used to, I mean, you talk about a ruthless personality. Let me tell you, Pat's he's a leader, but he's something. He's the kind of guy you want
on your team
in the military.
Oh yeah. Right. Well, cool, man. Well, look, it was a lot of fun. Anything else that you want to hit on before we get out of here? And I guess right now would be a good time too to talk about your wardrobe, man. Brought to you by Rowback.com.
Rowback.
And you are.
I guess I'll take the time to. I know we covered a lot. Some deep.
I love it. Though. It's a great show.
Yeah, some deep conversations, but it's all meant in the best light.
That's what this is about. Rowback, though, room 20. Tell Pat that he can get 20% off if he uses the code room 20 on Rowback.
Did you say tell Pat?
Yeah. tell him that'll take good care of him.
I'll use it and just buy him a few shirts.
Oh, you're gonna buy it for him? Well, you use it. Tell me if it works.
Oh, it works.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, brought to you by
you hear that, Rowback? It works.
Rowback, we absolutely love the gear, and you guys will as well. You look good. And then, and obviously right now mybookie.ag, use the promo code next round and take advantage of that, man. I mean, like so much stuff is going on right now, and it's just only going to get better. But whether you bet to earn or to make games more exciting, MyBookie gives you the most for your money with their redesigned deposit bonus. Use the promo code next round to receive a cash bonus instantly to your MyBookie account. Using this bonus is simple. Bet your deposit amount just once and you're ready to cash out. It's no strings attached with MyBookie. You guys know that. Bet on the NBA with the playoffs, Major League Baseball, which I personally couldn't do, but you guys could. Or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly online blackjack tournaments. My buddy Big Elmo loves the blackjack tournaments, He says he gets sucked into them all the time with MyBookie, and he loves them. With so many brands to choose from, you need a platform that makes it simple to bet and win like MyBookie. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And again, we appreciate them too for believing in our podcast and supporting us and Next Round and Disrupt the Media. And man, it's been fun, dude. This was a great show.
This is a good one.
Let's do it again. I think so. What do you think?
I had fun.
Yeah, me too.
It was kind of, covered all the bases.
We hit everything. It's a little later than we normally do. That's probably why. You know? We're like the night owls right now. All right, guys, for Jake Coker, I'm Mick Gillispie. Again, like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Be supportive of what we're doing. Get in the comment section, and maybe we'll take the show on the road. You know, that's something that I think we would love to do and get out there and mix it up with you guys at some different places as well. I mean, we've got big plans for this as we move forward, but the whole point of the podcast, the whole part that we love is that we're just trying to be genuine and have a good time talking Alabama, but whatever else pops up. So roll tide, everybody.